I hope that helps. And Dr. Varia is going to talk
Yeah.
about
Thank you
classrooms
so
more.
much, ma'am. So looking forward to it.
Yes. And I think we have almost 74, 75 people in the group already. So the intention of GEG, that is Google Educator Group, it is a voluntary forum for passionate educators like you, me, Dr. Varia, who are coming together to help our community empower themselves, learn something from others, as well as create resources which will be useful for them and the other people in the community. If you watched the launch, the launch was great. We had a great response. We went over NEP and the other things, and we came to a conclusion after talking to a few of our educator friends and around the country that we should start with the basic. I know it might be a little up and down for more advanced users, but we are just trying to make it very smooth and slow and in such a way, in an organized way, so that you will be ready to give the Google Educator Level 1 exams. So Google has very nice educator exams. Um, Miss
Ma'am,
Sani,
I had
may
one
I
more
request
query.
you to mute?
Ma'am, I
Yes.
had one more query. Ma'am, just like in other platforms like maybe Zoom, there is a
Mhm.
concept of virtual background. So,
Yes.
especially we can use them in the case of assemblies, right? So,
Mhm.
that is not somehow enabled in the Google Meet. So,
Yes.
can you guide us on that?
Yeah. So Google just announced few new features that are coming up in the coming months. Some of the places the blurred background is already being pushed out. Some of the people who already have schools who have enterprise edition, they have this feature. So it is slowly coming out. So if you would like, Google had a really cool seminar last month which said school anywhere. So if you go to Google website and search for school anywhere, they have wonderful speakers from different countries. And then
Virtual
Google
background
announced,
is
yeah, virtual background will come up pretty soon, but it is more going to be in the blurred manner. Raising hand is coming up,
Ma'am, and
automatic attendance is coming up. So they will be rolling out in October and November.
right,
ma'am.
ma'am. And one more query, ma'am.
Excuse
How
me.
about
They are
augmented
already there.
reality? Are we having? Are we going to be starting off with augmented realities also from Google?
We will do that, but we will do that, but in some time, not in the Google Educator series right now. Yes, Bhavana, Bhuvana Bajaj.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Yeah,
excuse me.
Google
All
Extensions is
ma'am,
meant for that,
ma'am,
as far as
Google
I know.
attendance. Excuse me, ma'am. Google attendance is already there. Virtual background is also there. One has to download the Chrome extension. Chrome
Perfect,
extension has
perfect. So yes,
around 50 added. This thing Google Meet. I take the attendance. It gets spread in the Excel sheet. Time of entry of the student and exit of the student is recorded. Then virtual background. Everything is there. One has to download the extension from Chrome. Everything is there,
perfect.
ma'am.
So exactly, because it
There
hasn't
are
come to me yet.
add-ons.
There are
Hmm.
add-ons that you can use,
Yes.
but
Hmm.
uh, directly on your Google Meet, they are rolling out slowly. So like I said, some might have already got it, and some might still be waiting. I would just request everyone to mute the presentation. We already have 86 people, so I think we should start. I don't want to take up your dinner time later. So it's just going to be an hour session. Feel free to put up the questions in the chat while Dr. Varia is presenting. I will try to answer them. Otherwise, you can just post it in our group, send direct emails to the GG India, and we will try to answer all of them. Okay. Who? I think Sani SS. I hear some noise from your side. Is it okay if you can mute yourself, please?
I think Google Meet should have this facility to mute all participants also, which is not available right now.
Yes, yes, you are absolutely correct. So,
Yeah, I
what
mean,
if, yeah.
actually, I would like to answer this particularly. It's already there with Google Meet, but they are rolling out with particular category of users. So if you're a Google certified educator, and then you will be given these controls, and if you are having a G Suite, okay, then you are given again limited controls. So, howsoever in a G Suite as well as in individual Gmail IDs, we will not be able to control Google Meet or other host controls would not be there. So host control at the moment are being rolled out for Google certified educators.
Yes, and it will all come up. It will come soon, and they have a lot of new updates coming up in the month of September, October, and November. So within that time, I'm sure we all will be pretty much ready with all the features that we want them to have. So they also have a really nice help center. When you go to Google Meet, you'll see a question mark. So Google always encourage everyone to put up their question, whatever updates they want, whatever problems they are facing into that, which helps them to use their updates on it. Okay, so let's start our session. I would just request Sani SS to please mute themselves.
Reshma, I guess Vishal sir can mute them from his end. Vishal sir, try once. I think you'll be able to mute them.
Yeah, I have to check individual users for muting them.
This is
Okay.
Miss Sahani there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will check it out. Yeah. Reshma, you please continue.
Okay. So today's our first session, and today we are going to talk specially about just the basics, that is getting to know the G Suite. That means what all is available for the G Suite for education. So let me start by introducing myself really quick. I'm Reshma Honap. I'm the founder and leader of GEG Pune, India. I'm a Google certified educator level 1 and 2 and a ISTE member. I'm also a co-leader in the global GEG. Dr. Waria, you want to introduce yourself?
Myself, Dr. Vishal Waria. I'm from Rajkot, Gujarat, India. And me and Reshma have started this GEG Pune. Reshma is a very inspirative leader here. She is from California, and we just got together to start this particular GEG Pune. It's her endeavor to give us this GEG Pune title. I've been waiting for this kind of a GEG Google Educators group, but I think until Reshma formed it for India, I was not able to connect with any other groups of India. So thanks Reshma for connecting or making this group and connecting us all together. And we've got a very wonderful audience today. So I think we're going to get a very good group for GEG Pune, India.
Yes, and we are waiting for Dr. Vishal to get his approval from Google as a co-leader. So probably next session, you will have his title as a co-leader. So thank you, Dr. Vishal, for being involved. Now, talking about G Suite, G Suite for education tools. So everybody is online right now. Everybody is worried about how to use, how to communicate with students, how to send them documents, how to get the responses, how to create quizzes, how to even remember the tasks that are being assigned to students, to the emails that are coming. So G Suite for Education are especially the tools pushed by Google for Education so that it makes our lives easier as a teacher. So I would just go over them really quick. So the collaborative tools, that means you can work with the students, you can share with your teachers and work together on our Google Docs, Google Sheets. Google Drive is just like your cabinet. So you have all these things stored in your own position. So docs, sheets, slides, Jamboard, everything can go inside your Google Drive. That just remains for yourself. Google Slides. Google Jamboard is an amazing whiteboard utility, which you can use to help students annotate, teach on the board. And then Google Drawings. Google Drawings is another amazing feature where you can share it with the students. When we talk about communication, which is the most important thing, we all know we have been using Google Meet, like we just discussed. There are more features coming out. And then we will keep you updated. As soon as we receive an email from Google about the new updates, we will forward it to our GEG Pune group. Google Hangouts, not much people are using right now, but it is amazing amongst the students that they chat with each other, they share forums, teacher create their own Hangout groups where they can communicate with each other. We all are aware of the Gmail feature. There are superb things like somebody asked me some time back about how to arrange it. We will be going over all the Gmail features like labeling your emails, separating them, making them compact into one email in a sequence and all those things. You can also have different signatures for different group of people that you're sending emails to. Then we have Google Sites. So now Google Site is a basic platform where you should be able to add all these collaborative tools. So Google Site is something that we will go a little later, because first we need to know about all the rest of the things, and that can be implemented into Google Sites, which can be embedded into Google Site. Then we have Google Groups. Google Groups is a small forum of groups, or so that you don't have to send individual emails to each one of them. Today we did, because we don't have all of them already added. But when I send an email to our GEG India group, I just used one email address that was the Google Groups that I created for all of them. This is how you usually communicate. These are the tools that Google provides for communication. Now, we are all teachers. We are super stressed out with so many things, so many meetings, assignments that the students need to be doing. We have our deadlines to be covered. So all these things can be taken care by Google Calendar. We can create meets. We can find time. Like, I'm in California. Dr. Varia is in India. And we have people from all around the world joining us. So it is difficult to find when Dr. Varia has time so that I can have a meeting with him. So super features within Google Calendar, which helps us find the time. And you don't have to worry about the clock, looking at the clock, what time it would be there, what time would it be in Philippines or Europe or anywhere. So a lot of new features that can be used to make our life simple. We have Google Keep, where we keep storing. That's our personal, it's like my personal wallet. I just keep storing what I find important into that particular. Ms. Divya Bajaj, I think probably by mistake you shared the screen. Can you guys hear my, see my screen?
Yes.
Divya ma'am, I guess by mistake you have started screen sharing. Divya ma'am, are you there listening?
Maybe some
Okay.
child of hers must have
Yeah,
tampered.
now,
Yeah,
now the
yeah.
screen
Do you
is
see, as long
visible
as you see my screen?
Ma'am.
We are able to see in a very small window.
No, you can
Oh,
pin.
okay.
You can pin her window. Maybe then
Yeah, I
it will be
will.
visible.
Yeah.
No, Reshma ma'am, your screen is visible perfectly, no problem.
Okay, fine. So we'll just go ahead. So Google Keep is like a bulb thing. Most of you guys might have it on your phones. So any important emails, any checklist, any communication that I feel, okay, I don't have time right now, let me just go back to it later. You just put it like send it to my task or send it to my Keep. So if you have a Gmail account, if you open your Gmail, on the right side, you should be able to see task, calendar, and Keep, which are the most important thing, are the most important thing, I think, as a teacher to be used. Then we have a new thing that has come up, that is Google Assignment. That is completely a new thing that Google has rolled out, especially for teachers, so that they can start making assignments and sending it to teachers. So today we will be starting, we are going to go over all this. Google Educator Level 1 exam covers everything from here. Not into too deep as much as into the level 2, but we are trying to create our sessions in such a way so that by the end of our few sessions, and if you follow the Teacher Center, I'll put up the link here, the Google Teacher Center, just go over all their assignments, go over all the theory that is given there, and you should be ready to be certified educator level 1. After that would be level 2, which are more in depth on all these concepts, which says how you're implementing. So today, Dr. Varia is going to talk to us about using Google Classroom, how to create one, how to add students, and he will talk about us more in detail. Now, more than just the tools for education, there are more tools outside the G Suite of education, which are super useful as a teacher, especially when you look at, we are all on Chrome extensions. We use Chrome. YouTube, as a teacher, you can record your own meeting, or you can even record your own lesson in like 2 to 3 minutes to explain a concept, upload it to your YouTube channel, As a teacher, we always recommend that you have your own YouTube channel so that you can restrict it to the viewers, because you don't want just assigning a link and that link takes your students to more multiple unrequired videos. So always have a small channel for yourself. Make a restriction that only for students or only the ones that you assign. So YouTube does not show any other YouTube videos that you don't want your students to watch. Then we have Google Maps and Earth, amazing feature, especially for history and geography students. They love it because they can actually go to that place virtually and see how it looks like right now. We have Blogger, especially for English teachers, history teachers, people write blogs on any topic. So Blogger is another one. I love Scholar because remember when we were young, we used to go to reference books and we used to try to find the bibliography, who wrote this, quoting. Scholar is a place where you search for an article. It gives you immediately a response about citations. There are just few clicks that you just click on that and that citation comes on your Google Docs. You don't need to worry about plagiarism. You don't need to worry about students not being able to find where the article was from. Then Google Books, similarly as Google Scholar, a lot of them like to use books. Amazing features. So there are a lot of things that we can see. So we will be going over all of them. So let's start with Dr. Varia with Google Classroom. And we will go over the question answers pretty soon.
Yeah. Thanks, Reshma. Thanks, Reshma, for this session. I think next time when you just join in again, you just need to present your screen.
Yeah, I just wanted to check if you are going to share this presentation later so that we don't write down anything.
Yeah, okay. The session is on record mode right now, so we'll be sharing the recording.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thanks. So I'll be sharing my screen, and my topic basically today is how to start with Google Classroom, considering that not many schools in India are still suffering from how to start. कैसे Google Classroom को configure करना है, कैसे start करना है. No, I just talk little in Hindi so that everybody is okay with it. And so my main thing is that only.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Pathak. Mr. Pathak, you're going to say something?
Sorry, sir. Sorry to disturb you, but I want to say that your voice is echoing too much.
Voices?
Echoing too much.
Echoing too much. All right, I will just lower down. Right. Okay. So I'm starting my presentation right now. It will be a live demo session of how to start with Google Classroom. Okay. And I suppose just Reshma, let me know if you can see my screen. Yeah. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Visible.
Yeah. So in order to start with Google Classroom, the link is classroom.google.com. I'll be joining the classroom with my GEG email ID. So I'm just right. So when you start with Classroom, the very first thing you must have a Gmail to use Google Classroom. If you don't have a Gmail, you will not be able to use Google Classroom. That is first prerequisite, the first requirement, right? So whenever you are being asked to log into Google Classroom, okay, when you say try to log in with Google Classroom with your Gmail ID, you will be first be prompted whether you are a teacher or a student. So assuming that we are all a group of educators, you have to click on teachers. Now the difference is, if you be a teacher, you select the teacher module of Google Classroom, then you see this plus sign over here, it's visible to the teacher. This plus sign will not, in this plus sign, create class won't be visible to the students. For students, only join class will be visible. So when you open the Google Classroom, this is the screen, it will be visible in front of you, right? And here you have to create a class. Just click on the plus sign and just create. Okay, before creating a class, I'll just be making you familiar with the screen of it. Now, with what email ID you are logging into the classroom, it will be visible over here. So this is your email ID through which you logged into the classroom, and these are the menus. Okay, these are the classes, calendar, review. Okay, I'm just prepared a short class over here, but before going to that class, I'll just show you how to add a classroom. So I just create one class. Click on create. Okay, select this, continue. So you will be asked to the name of the class. So it's a GEG first class. I just name it as. Now see here you are given the section. You are given the number of topics like section, subject, and room. Right. Now many times a school has got different section. KG section is there, or English medium section is there, or Gujarati medium section is there, or XYZ number of sections are there. So which section is this? So I just randomly name it as say scholar section. And what is the subject? Generally it is a classroom. The classroom will be having all the subjects, but if I'm creating a particular for a particular subject, you need to mention it. I will say that using GC is the subject, and room. Now see, if you in a class school building, you have different rooms. Say the rooms are numbered accordingly or named. So whatever, if you want to say, so I'll just mention it as 101 for just ease of use, and I'll just say create. So it's in the creation. So now the GEG first class is already created. So it will have number of tips over here. You can close it down. Now this is the classroom. This is the first interface of the classroom. Okay. Now when you log in for the next time, you will be given that this is a classroom. This is how your logged in screen would be visible to you. So number of classes that you create will be appearing over here, and this particular class I have created just now, I'll be opening it. And now the next important thing is, how do you add students to this particular class? So you see this, there is a class code over here. Okay. Now there are 4 tabs: stream, classwork, people, and grades. Right? So very first thing is you select on people. If you are having, say, email IDs of the students, then select on this. You need to just type down the email IDs of all the students over here. Okay, so once you type down, they will receive an invitation email. Once you type down, they will receive an invitation email. I'm just typing down Reshma right now. Reshma, you can just then share what email you received. Okay. Now,
I will do that.
Yeah.
So guys, I received an email which said that Dr. Waria invited you to the class GEG Scholars section. I get an email saying that Dr. Waria's GEG First Class Scholars section, and it gives me a blue button which says join. So if I click on join, I can join his class.
You just click on the join.
Okay.
So here you see she is invited, and once she accepts the invitation, she will be considered that will be unable.
Okay, I'm clicking the link. Yes, I'm joining. And it is on my GEG India Gmail, right?
Yes.
Okay, I did.
Okay, I just refresh it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now you see, she is already there in this particular class as a student. Okay. Similarly, this is one way of adding the students. Okay. Another way of adding the students is you can invite them using the class code. And you can copy down this class code and you can share it with the students in whatever manner you want to share. And you can ask them that once you are asked to join the class, you have to enter this particular code. You can change this code. Over here, there is a settings button. Okay. When you scroll down the settings, okay, here it is. Class code is over here. You see class code. So you have to share this particular class code to the students so that students can actually join the class. So if I share this class code over you in the chat, okay, I would say that if anyone would just try, okay, to join this class using their email ID, I'll just share the class code. Okay, so you can just join in with this class code to this particular class. Now this class code is the link of which class? Your GAG first class. जिस क्लास में से आप क्लास कोड शेयर कर रहे हो उसका लिंक उसी को इसी क्लास में इनवाइट करेगा, right? So this is, so if anyone goes for this class code, they will be appearing over there. Now you can add teachers and students to the class. So if you're having a class, say I've got a class of 5A, grade 5, division A, okay, and I'm preparing this class and there are say 6 teachers in this class, then what I will do is I will add all the teachers, I will invite all the teachers over here, typing with their email IDs, and I will ask them to join as a teacher. And then I will invite all the students with email ID over here, right? And then they will be able to join as students. So Mukta Sablok has joined. You can just see it. She has just joined as a student over here. Okay. So this is how you join. So you have to accept, you have to invite the teachers to join as teachers, and you have to invite the students to this classroom. So to invite them, there are 2 ways. One way is through inviting them through invite link that you can share by giving emails, or other you can share the class code and they can be joining the class. Now if you see here, there are 4 tags over here. One is a string tag. Now it is very simple. It is just like, you know, the way you do it in Facebook or something like that in a page, right? So whatever you type here will be shared to all students. Okay, I just have to keep on admitting because people are outside of my domain. Anyway, so if I say welcome to your classroom of GAG first class. So this communication here, see, you see, for which class? It is for this class, GAG first class, right? And for which students? How many students? For all students. See, I'm marking here as all students. Okay. Now, if here I'm getting an option of post. I can post it or I can schedule my post. Okay. And here I can attach. Say if I got a welcome, say a welcome image is there or something like that, I can share. I'll just do one thing is, okay, I'll just quickly add a welcome image. So here I copy the link over here. And I go to get class. In the link section, I just paste the link, add the link, and it will be automatically added.
So, excuse me, Dr. Waria, there is a question which says that when you add these things on your side, do the students get immediate notification that your teacher has added an assignment?
No. Let's come on to that point. See, here I'm just adding right now, but I've not yet posted my message. The moment I click on post, all students will receive this message along with the image. You see? Now see, all students have received this. The students will be able to know this, that they have received this message. Right? And here there is a setting. I can allow the students to comment or not comment. You see? Yeah. Here, see, there is a stream here, and say it is mentioned students can post and comment. So I would request that those who have already there as students, just see this post and put your comments so that all others also can see. Reshma, just do it for yourself, please. You'll be able to comment on this.
So I'm just refreshing my page. So I got an email from Dr. Waria saying that welcome to the classroom, 3D painting of the welcome. Priya already said hello, so I'm also sending you hello. I received your email. So right now I'm logged in as a student. So
Yeah,
I can reply.
Yeah, you got, see, you get 6 comments over there. Okay, Reshma is there. 6 comments are already there. You can just check it out here. Okay, see. So here the point is, this is how you have to share your message. Okay. Now, stream is such a place where you will have to share an announcement. You share it in the stream page. You know, this is it's an announcement over here. Now, if you want to give any kind of classwork, you have to go to the classwork. Here you have to create. Okay, you have to create. Now, say if I create an assignment or a material, say if I create a material, something like this will be created. Okay, say social science chapter 1. Okay, I write this script. Please go through the attached PDF and write the Q&A in your classwork book.
Vishal sir,
Yes.
Vishal, may just interrupt for 1 minute.
Yes, sir. Please tell me.
I think there are another 2 things, like before we add students, I think settings of the classroom must be done first. Like settings, like because
I come to that point, sir, because why I'm coming to this particular point, so that we can cover up a handsome portion at this point of time, and then we can focus on the details later part.
yes, and I think if we are having a G Suite license version, then there will be one more option of creating a Meet link.
Yes, it's there.
Yes.
It's there.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So please go to that. So here I can now add any file. Okay. Say for example, I go to my Google Drive. Say for example, I'm attaching just a simple file over here, just an image. Okay. And I'm just inserting over here. And I can directly now share. See now here, this is for all students. Here also I can select to which student I want to share. I can share it to individual students, or I can share it to all students. So right now I'm just going for all students. Okay. And I can define a topic. Let's create a topic. The topic is said, since this is social science, I will create a topic as social science. Okay. And I'll just post it. Before posting, here is the down arrow key. You can also schedule this post. Right. See, as a matter of good practice, it is advisable that you post during normal working hours. Here we have seen that the students receive email as late as 10 o'clock at the night, or as early as 5 o'clock in the morning. Right. So there should be as a matter of good practice, you should schedule. If you are doing it the night, doesn't matter, do it, but you schedule your post so that it goes into the right timing zone. So right now I'm just, for demo purpose, I'm just posting, and this will be available in the classwork, and the topic will be here. See, so classwork, there, social science, and this is the topic. If I click on this topic, I'll be seeing this image and all these things. So the students can view the material. Now, as Mr. Nayan has just said, if you're using a G Suite, okay, if you're using an individual class, that's another topic. But if you're using a G Suite, then over here there will be a meeting code, okay, which you can set it over here. So if you go to the settings, okay, this class details is something what we filled up during the creation of the class, and these are the general settings. Okay. Now, here it is settings apply for invite link and class codes enabled. This is the class code link. Okay. Now, since I am not using my official G Suite email ID for this purpose. I'm using the GEG email ID, so I'm not having over here the meeting link. So if you're having a G Suite ID, then a meeting link would be over here, and you will be having a meeting code displayed over here, Google Meet code displayed over here, which you can enable for live lectures. So this is something very basics of the classroom, and I think we don't have much time today to discuss all the details of intricacies of this, and we shall be slowly, unearthing all the settings of it. We still have people joining, so we'll be slowly and gradually unearthing. Over here, I would like to say one more thing, is that the best part of Google Classroom is that you can do it through your mobile phone. Google Classroom application you have to download in your mobile phone, and in Google Classroom application, if you're opening your application for the first time, be very, very careful that you must select the teacher's option, that I'm a teacher. Okay, they'll be displaying two options, I'm a student or I'm a teacher. You must select that I'm a teacher, then only you will be getting an option of creating a class. See, once again, if you are selecting yourself as a teacher, then over here, create class option will be available. If anyone joins as a student, only join class option will be available. Create class option will not be available to such teacher, such candidate. So the beauty of this Google Classroom is, if you are having a G Suite, if your school is having a G Suite for education, right, and then all these materials that you will be sharing with your class can be made available to the students offline. This is the beauty of this product, right? But for that, you'll have to enable the settings that the drive should be available offline. For that, once the students has to be online, has to get the materials there, and then all those materials will be available to students in an offline mode. So every time they will not be requiring internet connection for utilizing the material. Yes, for joining the meeting, they will be needing the internet connection. So this is something very, very basic of the classrooms, Google Classroom. There is plenty of these things, but I don't think the timings today would be proper to cover up all these things. And we will be taking a session topic by topic, and then again we'll be coming up with the intricacies of the settings of the classroom.
Dr. Wadia, there is one question saying that where do I invite my subject teachers in my class to collaborate?
All right. So in that case, you have to select your class first. Okay. You have to go to People's tab. Okay. And over here, see the teacher section and student section. Over here, there's a teacher section. So if you can just type in your email ID in your chat box, I'll just invite you as a teacher, and then you can join in this class as a teacher. Mrs. Datta, just type in your email ID here, please, in the chat. All right, doesn't matter. See, okay, say for example, Mr. Nayan Shah is there.
It's there. It's there.
Yeah? Okay. Okay. So I'm just copying down here. I'm just inviting. Here she is, selecting and invite. Now you would be receiving an email to join as a teacher. Just you see, once a teacher is invited, the teacher, unless or until the teacher accepts the invitation, this will not be enabled over here. The moment you will accept this invitation, this will be enabled, and the class and the entire students list will be available to you in this class. Please check it out, your email, and accept the invitation. So likewise, you have to add you have to invite the respective teachers of the class to this particular classroom, and then they will be having access to the students, and the students will be having access to the teachers. And all of this will be possible through the email IDs. So without bothering teachers for personal contact IDs or these things. So generally, what we have found is, if there is a school organization, the school will be having a G Suite, and the teachers would be having their school email IDs. That's what we have done for our school. And the teachers would then be invited to the particular class. What we have done in our school is we have created classrooms just like class 1A, class 2A, class 3A, class 5A. Likewise, we have created all the divisions on the class, and we have invited respective teachers into that class, and we invited respective students to that class. And The beauty of this particular application is that you will be actually able to work as a classroom. You will be able to check the attendance, you'll be able to set up the material, you'll be able to set up shared documents. Now, all these things will be covering up in our forthcoming sessions of training, and there will be covered. So today we are just covering up only the basics of classroom, how to join Google Classroom, how to operate Google Classroom, and how to create your class and invite the students in Google Classroom. So in today's topic, I've just limited my content to this particular session for this particular topic. And since there's plenty of things to be learned, we'll be organizing in step-by-step format. We'll be following this level 1 certification format, and accordingly we'll teach the group how to have further practices of the Google Classroom. So I think, Reshma, is it okay that we keep classroom training to this extent in this session?
Yes, I think that was wonderful, Dr. Varia, because classroom is so in depth, and then the classroom that Dr. Varia created, we are going to keep using the same classroom to show you how to how to add documents to it, so as soon as we start learning about documents, YouTube, creating our own videos, creating forms and quizzes, we will keep adding it to the same classroom to show you how the students do it, how we can assign a due date, how we grade the quizzes, how the teacher sees the scores, and so on. So it's very vast. So we wanted to keep it in bits and pieces so that it's not overwhelming for anyone who is learning for the first time. So I would like to share my screen, and we don't want to go beyond 1 hour. I know it's late in the evening in India on a Saturday. So we will keep our sessions 1 hour, one or two sessions we'll do longer if it requires. So I will like to share a quick fun stuff to do. I know we are now all students of Dr. Varia, so we have to respect what he taught us. So I'm going to present my screen, and we have an assignment to do. It is not compulsory. It is just for fun. Feel free to finish the assignment, post it on Twitter, post it on our Google groups or your social media. And you know, this is the perfect way to learn. When you do it yourself, you know if it is right or wrong. So we would like you to create a Google Classroom from your email address. Just like your friends, you can add any teachers, add Dr. Varia and myself, Reshma Honam, on any of your friends list or any of your friends as students or teachers. Change the name of the classroom to your name @GEG Pune, India. So we know who created it and for which group. Create an assignment announcement to send it to all the students. We will receive it, your friends will receive it, and you can check with us that did we receive it or not. Add any material, either you have a document made, you have something, just say hello or anything, and the assignment for students. I know we could not discuss the due date, so that's fine. Just add an assignment, and we would like you to post it, either just send it on a WhatsApp or post it on Twitter, and just see how much ideas and responses you get from there. So try doing this, and any questions, you can type it here. We are still here for 15 minutes.
Yeah, Reshma, there is a couple of questions I would like to honor it right away. So we got a question from Khushbu and Rupinder that how to register for G Suite. Right now, see, G Suite for school is something which is free at the moment, and I think it's a very good proposition. One must take this benefit of the free tool provided by Google. So to register for G Suite, you have to go to G Suite for Education, okay? And in that, you have to first of all register your school. Now, you will be able to register for G Suite only if you have your school website. You must have a school website, and they will ask you to fill up this particular form there, okay? And you have to fill up the details. They'll ask you details from your email, and if they grant you the G Suite, you will have to have some kind of codes added to your website, which will then enable you to enable the G Suite for entire of your school domain. Right. So I think we'll be taking up this in a detailed manner, in a step-by-step process. Only thing what I can say right now is just search it in Google itself, right? How to register for G Suite for Education. Google for Education. They are already given the format, and we will be sharing it to the group in a step-by-step format. So, any other questions apart from this? You are free to ask. Reshma is there.
Yeah, hi.
Yes.
Reshma, as you mentioned in the assignment that you create a Google Classroom and you create it with the name of @GEG_Pune India. So do we create a separate email with @GEG Pune India, or it's just
It's just the
any
name of the classroom. So you create your classroom with your email address.
email
But
address?
when
What I have, yeah.
when you
Yeah.
name a class, I just want you to name
Yeah.
a class with, let's say, your Priya, right?
Yes.
So yeah, so you can just write down whatever initials you like Priya R_@GEG Pune
GG.
India.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's just for fun. So we know that you attended the session and you created a class and you are proficient in it now.
Yeah, sure. It's quite interesting. Thank you, Reshma and Dr. Varia. It's really interesting to
Reshma,
get
how
to know
to
this
get into
tool.
Reshma, how to get into the certification program?
So I
Yeah, that is
posted a link.
my next question. Yeah.
Perfect. That is an amazing question,
Yeah.
and you will learn a lot of things when you actually do along with our sessions when you start going into the details. So I will post a link. I already posted a link in the chat, but I will send a link right here. I have it on my slides. So the first level educator level 1 exam. So it takes you to the Google Training Center. So this is on your educator level 1 certification. So there are 3 steps. So what I did, I went through the training center. I attended all the sessions from Global GEG and other providers. Like we are here for you. So attend all the sessions, do all the assignments, and then you click on register. So they also suggest you the same steps. Create an account. Yes.
The screen is not visible from the side. You click down this
really?
link, the link is not visible. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought I was sharing
Yeah.
it. I'll share it right now. Yeah. Okay. So it looks like this. Now you can see it?
No, not yet. Yeah, it's coming up. Yes.
Oh, okay. So let me post the link till time. Okay. So this is how the Google for Education website looks like, which says earn your level 1 certification. So you go to this website. So the test is for 3 hours. It is valid for 3 years, and it is just $10. So I feel it is worth spending money to get yourself certified and be confident. So you create an account. It's an online proctored exam. There is a training center. So what does that mean is Google provides you with all the resources required to be able to give the exam. So that is called as fundamental training. So when we go to the fundamental training, you will be able to see all the, let me post it here because it's lagging it because I see it on my screen. So I just posted the link. If you want, you can just click it. It says Skillshop. So it
Can
gives
your
you.
agency help me? Can your agency help me to register and everything?
Yeah, we can post you the links, but ma'am, you will have to register from your end itself because it has a lot of information.
Okay.
So we can help you prepare for the exam. We can help you guide wherever you have questions.
Okay, thank you so much.
But because it is directly from Google, it has to go from personal your own ID. But we are here.
So, I would like to comment over here is, see, Google certification is chargeable, but Google training is free, right? So training you can still take. You may take your time to get certified. That's not an issue. Certification is $10, but you can still fetch the training, which is completely free, provided by Google. There are a number of assignments. There are a number of sessions in it. You have to go through all these sessions. It's completely free of charge. Till then, you have to register.
I have been using all the Google app for the last 2 years. Everything on Google. So only finer details I want. I'm looking
at. So then you have to go to just as Reshma told, you have to go for the certification, and then you can apply for certification. If you're comfortable with the training and are comfortable with using the products, then I think it will be easy for you to clear the examination.
Thank you so much. You have been very helpful, both of you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Any other questions that we might be able to answer? Yeah, that's another good way. Like Humera Riaz said that they have registered through Udemy for level 1. That is another additional resource. But me, Dr. Waria, we all just went through the training center from Google, and it is a lot of resources they provide if you practice exactly what sessions, what assignments they give you. Just like we gave you one, if you actually practice all of them, I don't think there will be a problem with the exam.
Another thing I would like to add here is, see, while registering for examination or level examinations, you'll be asked that are you being guided by any group or any things, right? It would be a voluntary field that you can omit as well. But if it's there with you, then you can mention GATE Pune India, that you've been guided by GATE Pune India to go for this certification.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Excuse
May
me.
I?
Okay.
Yes.
I'm Mrs. Vidya. I have completed Google Certified Educator Level 1 in 2016.
Okay, so you have to re-certify, ma'am.
It is valid for 3 years. Yeah.
Yes. Now, shall I give the exam of Educator Level 2 directly?
You can give the level 2 if you're confident and you're prepared, but level 1 will be disqualified. You will have to do level 1 as well.
You have to recertify man yourself for level 1 because there have been a lot of changes after 2016. Lot of other applications have been added by Google in level 1. So it's very easy. You just recertify. It's matter of if you just go and go through the training center links, it will be easy for you to learn the new concept. While in 2016 there were many options not available.
I have completed all the courses, this training course from the website of Google Educator Level 2 also. So
Great.
directly can I?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, you can take it.
You can join.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Reshma and Dr. Vishal, one question from my side, that I'm actually a STEM facilitator, a robotics trainer. So
Yes.
I just wanted to know that when I'm teaching robotics, say for example, through some software, then is it possible for me to share the software on the Google Classroom? Like most of the softwares are online, like for example, it is Scratch programming or
Yeah.
anything like that. So will I be able to share that and make a quiz on it and, teach students or some videos? I mean, how will that work?
Vishma will be answering.
Yes. So if your software allows, it's not proprietary and it allows you to share it with public, you should be
Okay.
able to. You should be able to send us the link. Send the link on the Classroom. You can also actually create your own quizzes in forms and post it.
Yeah, so that
Yeah.
that you will be telling us how to create a quiz and a form,
No.
right?
Priyaman, what is advisable for you is if you're using Scratchpad, right? The best thing
Yeah.
is that when you are taking session, let's say we have taken the session right now, you can share your entire screen on Google Meet. Okay.
Okay,
Then
yeah.
whatever you are doing on your screen will be visible to the students.
Students, yes, yeah, right.
So in that case, you don't need any kind of software validations and nothing other formalities included. in
Right,
that.
right.
Only thing is that you will not be able to share the assignments of Scratchpad directly through Google Classroom. What you need to do is you have to create those assignments using Google Documents or Google Slides, and then you can share it over Google Classroom to your students.
Students,
And then
okay,
students
okay.
will be able to do it in Scratchpad.
So this is a much better way of sharing than the Zoom meetings, because here you
Exactly.
have a lot of other tools, right?
Yes, exactly. Another way,
So
what you
it's
can do is
like,
then-
yeah. Mhm. Yeah,
Sorry.
go ahead.
Another way is Scratchpad is already having its online facility,
Right, right, right.
right? So you can directly use this facility and ask the students to get registered. There's a student there as well on the online facility, and you can directly give assignments of Scratchpad to your students directly from there.
Okay, okay. No, but I can share any videos or anything can be shared on Google Classroom, right?
Yes, yes, that is possible.
Yes. And Priya, I would recommend if the videos are from YouTube and it links to different videos on the right side. Remember, it shows a lot of different videos.
Yes, yes.
Usually as teachers, we do not recommend sending a direct link to students because it distracts them and it takes them to all varied kinds of subjects. So
Yes.
what we recommend is a small video, that clipping that you want to share, create your own playlist. So we will talk
Okay.
about it, how to create a playlist
Yeah,
in YouTube.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
And then you can only share the playlist to students so they only see what you send them, nothing else.
Send them. Yes.
Yeah.
So we will be learning about how to create this quiz and forms and everything
Yes.
in the later sections, right?
Yes. So next session is going to be our next Saturday. So that
Okay.
is why in our link we always ask what you need. So we want to address your immediate need as well as we want to give you more details about each tool. So Dr.
Yeah.
Varia will continue with the classroom, and along with that we will add up collaborating in a Google Doc, how to share it, how the
Yeah,
students can write
exactly.
it down. So we will be
Yeah.
going on to that.
So in
And
the
I have
meantime, we'll do the assignment what you have given, and I'll go in detail with the site for Google certified educators. So I have a week's time to do my homework and then get back to you on next Saturday.
Perfect,
Most
perfect. That will be
yeah,
great. And you
great.
know what?
Yeah.
We with this probably when you all have your own classrooms, eventually
Yeah.
by the end you will have your own material collected at one place. And once you're done, you just need to send it to students. You don't have to recreate it again and again or search for it everywhere.
Yes, yes, that's nice. That's
So
nice.
thank you
So
so
I
much,
because
everyone. Yeah.
I have lesson because in robotics when we are doing robotics we have lesson plans, like for example lesson plans for gears, so we can share those lesson plans on Google Docs and
Yes,
who
you can
can
share
perform the activities.
Google Calendar, which is a very good facility. If you can, which topic is to be taught on which particular day or time. You can set it
Okay.
on the calendar, and that calendar you need to share with your students, and the students will be having exactly the same topics.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. Yeah, that will be right. That will be
Very
great.
good collaboration, and step by step will be teaching you everything.
Oh, it's really very interesting, and I'm really looking forward to do much more in this.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it is great, and just because few people are asking the question about, so we had a launch last weekend. I know a lot of new people joined today, but I just posted a launch video. We had an official launch of Google Educator Group for Pune, India, and please watch the launch. It has more information about training sessions. Each of those slide deck also has a link, so if you want to go further and check it out. I'm also posting a attendance and feedback form here. I will be sending it out to your email addresses also that you use to register. Please fill in the attendance form. You will receive a professional development certificate stating what exactly you learned today, what was discussed. And feedback really helps us because we are a voluntary group. It helps us plan our sessions exactly to cater your needs and what exact format you would like to have the session in. And I would also request one small thing from all of you. It is just the way I did it. I always used to have my laptop with me when I attended the session. So you do it along with us. So when Dr. Varia posts assignment, go to your student ID and see, oh, you received it, great. So that means that we are actually at par, so you don't forget what exactly happened in the last session. So
yeah. So I think that's
that's
more information for today's session. It's already 8 now.
Yes.
And
So our next
think-
session is going to be next Saturday. I will be again sending you, posting it on social media.
Sorry to interrupt. The classroom we did today, I mean, I was also added to the part of the classroom. Now, if I close it, I will still have it saved with me.
Yes.
This class.
Yes.
Okay.
You will
So
you
this
will remain
class-
connected with the classroom.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending the
thank you.
sessions. I have posted our Twitter handles, Dr. Varia, Dr. Vishal Varia, and myself, as well as GEG. Please send us any questions. Fill in the form if you would like to join the group. And we will keep discussing, share whatever we know, and we would like you also to share whatever you can share with us. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So we are just concluding the meeting, and you are free to leave the meeting right now, so that we'll be closing the session.
Thank you, Dr. Varia. It was actually an amazing session.
Thanks to you, Reshma. I'm just concluding the meeting.
Yeah.
All right.